Today I would like to show you how to paint a gold candy wrapper in watercolor using the colors yellow ochre, cadmium yellow, lemon yellow, cerulean blue, burnt sienna light, and neutral tint. Surprisingly, you can get the gold effect without using the use of gold paint. I chose to enlarge the photo of the candy and paint it on a 9x12 cold pressed 140-pound canson paper. To illustrate the use of colors and to express the folds and wrinkles in the wrapper. The base coat is of cadmium yellow, a very watery consistency. I chose that color to show the bright yellowness and give the effect of transparency on the twists of the wrapper at each end, and give the overall candy a nice glow. I paint a shadow under the candy to place it on the surface of the table in neutral tint. With burnt Sierra light, I paint in the strips of the candy wrapper at each end and pop the color in on the candy near the twists. I use a deep brown color to fill in the lettering. Since this is the darkest value of the painting, we have a baseline in which to develop the medium tones too. And where the edge of the wrapper is slightly open, I apply a coat of neutral tint and burnt Sierra light. To help with the glow of the gold, I mix cerulean blue with yellow ochre and cadmium yellow to create a soft green color and paint the shapes that I see in the reference photograph. One way that I approach each of my paintings to achieve a realistic look, I try hard not to view the reference photo as a whole, but only in parts. For example, when painting the ends of the wrapper, I look at the colors and replicate them in my palette, and paint the shapes as I see them, only focusing on the parts I want to paint, and I do that with each section. For the highlights, I am very aware where they are and mostly try not to fuss with those areas until the end and refine and clean up the edges. The most wonderful part that I like about watercolor is that if you go outside of the lines of your painting or make a happy mistake, you can apply water on a clean brush and lightly scrub the area and pick up the excess color with a paper towel. I clean up the lettering on the wrapper with this technique and clean up the highlights as well. For layering the colors and to achieve the realistic look, you must allow each layer to dry completely to the touch. If you layer colors upon colors when the paper is still wet, the colors will mix and may not give you the effect that you are looking for, and the colors will become muddy. I like to take a photograph when I break to allow the painting to dry so I can look over the progress of the painting and review it if I need to adjust tones, shapes, and if the painting is going in the direction I originally planned. Once the first layer of cadmium yellow is applied, the lettering is completed, and the first layer of greens are applied, I start to build up the details of the folds of the wrapper by painting the shapes I see in the reference photo in the colors that I see them. I slowly darken each layer by using less water on the brush and more pigment, but keeping the transparent part see-through and the solid parts of the wrapper solid. The painting starts off slow and light and joyful, and then as the details are beginning to take place, it becomes like a puzzle with different sections, but they do come together. I mix a very slightly creamy consistency of yellow cadmium and yellow ochre and paint it over the whole body of the candy, with the exceptions of the lettering, not on the highlights, and definitely not on each transparent end of the candy. This gives the candy a coherent look and is more visually pleasing. It is at this point I find that the painting is finished. Thank you for watching.